Hello everyone, welcome back to another God Guide. Hope y'all all enjoyed y'all's 4th of July, at least more than I did, since I was working for 10.5 hours yesterday. But, back again. And I found it funny that I play solo lane on Smite, and I have not done a lot of videos on warriors. I think I've done Bologna, that's it. I don't like assassins and mages and hunters. I think I did a mirror. I think I did one guardian. I haven't done much. I've done like one warrior and one guardian. So I need to fix that. And today I'm going to do Hercules. Hercules is someone that he's pretty good. He does two things really well. He's very good at repositioning enemy gods, and he's very good at just not dying. Anyone that's played against Hercules knows just how hard it is to kill him. And, well, that's kind of the awesome thing about Hercules. He's pretty good right now. I think I think he was a little overrated before, but he's not quite played as much. And I still think he's really good, really powerful, but he was played in so many games, and he was winning a lot of games too. I don't know if it was necessarily because of the Hercules, but that has to go for something, I would say. Hercules is mostly played as a solo laner. He can be played support though, and he can also be played in the jungle. But for the most part, I'm just going to be going over the solo build for him. Jungle will pretty much be about the same, unless you want to get a little more damage. I'll go with that. And support will be just building like a regular support. So, there's a couple different ways you can start off with Hercules. I want to go over how I like to start him off first. I like to rush Mystical Mill. So for that, I'm going to get Tier 1 Mystical Mill. I'm going to get Tier 2 of Hog. You don't have to get Tier 2 of Hog. You can just get Tier 1 and use that 300 gold elsewhere. But I prefer to get Tier 2 of Hog because 60-second cooldown, much better than 90 seconds. And that just means you'll be able to clear the wave a little bit easier earlier. Because Hercules is kind of squishy early until he gets his defenses up. So it's awful. Not necessary. But that's what I prefer to do. And then I just like to get potions for the rest of it. Now, if you're not planning on getting rushing Mystical Mill, I would probably just not get Mystical Mill. Mystical Mill is not that bad late game, but you get a lot of benefit out of it early. Another good choice, you can just start with Bluestone Pendant, and you can get you start with Bluestone Pendant. There's a couple different ways you go here. You can still get Tier 2 of Hog. Oops, I just bought Tier 3 on accident, but you know what I mean. Tier 2 of Hog, and then you can get like 2 potions. You get like 2 health potions, or you get a health and mana potion. I would at least get 1 health potion, in all honesty. Probably even 2, since you will be getting mana buff. Now, you could do Death Toll if you really want to. I think Bluestone Pendant is better right now because you will have problem with mana on Hercules early. But Death Toll is still fine, and Bluestone Pendant is going to be getting nerfed, and Death Toll will be your option if you want to go this route. And I will talk about what to build if you go that route, because if you're going to go with the starter items that I pick, then the first thing you're going to go to is Mystical Mill. Now, Mystical Mill is extremely powerful early. You will be doing... this will improve your wave clear by a lot. You also get free poke on enemy gods that just try to get close to you. And that damage adds up pretty quickly. Because someone takes about 10 ticks of that, that's at least 300 damage early, especially. It's very good. It also just makes you super tanky, it gives you some health, it gives you a lot of physical protection. It's exactly what Hercules wants. Now, if you don't start with this build, you could also, instead, you can go into Runeforged Hammer. Runeforged Hammer gives you power, gives you physical protection, gives you some health. everything that Hercules wants. But the main benefit of Runeforged Hammer over Mystical Mail is it's a lot cheaper. It's like 750. It's actually 800 gold cheaper. It's 800 gold cheaper. You'll get a lot quicker, but Mystical Mail is gonna give you a little extra health, more protection, and well, actually no, it gives you a little bit less health, but gives you more protection, and well, you get that magical AoE around you. So I think it is better, but it's one of those items that's going to take you quite a while to get to. Now, another thing that you can start off with, I would start with those two items if the solo laner and jungler are both physical gods. If one of them is magical, it's still fine to start off with them, but it's not as good. And then you could have the option, if one of them is magical and the other one's physical, just go to Warrior Tabby. It's a very good item. It's boots. You kind of need boots. I wouldn't say that Warrior Tabby exactly is a very good item, but you know. You need movement speed, and movement speed makes it a good item because you need it. I would not get Ninja Tabby on Hercules though, because Hercules is not much of a basic attacker. He's going to do a lot of damage with his abilities. Which is why you'll want to get Yotan's Wrath. Yotan's Wrath is very good. The cooldown reduction on it is very important. Also the penetration, a little bit of damage is nice. Mana. I mean, what don't you want? It's everything Hercules could ever dream of. And then I like to get Stone of God just because of how the reason Hercules is so hard to kill is because of his health regeneration on his 3. And Stone of God is just going to give you even more health regeneration. It's going to make you extremely difficult to kill. It's going to give you some extra health. Actually, a lot of magical protection. I think it's 70. I think it gives you 70 magical protection. Yeah, 70 magical protection. And it just gives you a lot of health and mana regeneration. Especially health regeneration. It's a very good item. You don't have to build it. You could also build for magical defensive items. You could get Bulwark of Hope. That's going to give you a lot of health. And gives you that shield when you're close to death. I don't like this item a lot, but it's okay. But I don't like it that much. I've seen it. Someone actually picked it up in a pro game, and I just don't know. You can try if you want. I don't approve of it, but it's an option. It's there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I would mostly stick between Bulwark and Stone God. I should probably put Stone God back there. Then I like to get Magi's Blessing. I mean, it's Magi's Blessing. CC is never a good thing. So Magi's Blessing fixes that a little bit. And then get Time's Bane. That gives you the big percentage of your penetration. Hercules is an ability-based god, and penetration is very good for ability-based gods. So here are some other options. As you can see, these are not really all the recommendations I have because I started looking at Hercules and I kind of ran out of room for stuff I would suggest for him. So, Mellow Renewal might seem like a really odd choice, and this might just be a personal preference thing because I actually kind of like Mellow Renewal. I think it's not. I don't think it's a great item. That's why I don't have it in my build, but I think it's a pretty good item, and it kind of has an interesting effect with Hercules because it's just going to give you even more health regeneration whenever you get a kill or assist, which you already have enough of, and more is not going to hurt. So I think it's pretty interesting. It also gives you pretty good bit of health. It gives you a little bit of physical protection, not a whole lot, but it gives you a decent bit, and it gives you a cooldown reduction. So I think it's good. How good? I'm not sure, but I like it a lot. Maybe a little more than I should. Also going to move to Hide the Nemean Line, which is a very fitting item for Hercules. And this is kind of an anti-hunter item. I would get this if they have 2 hunters on the team. It's very good, especially with how tanky Hercules is, or will be. I approve of Hide the Nemean Line a lot. But if they don't have at least 200s on the team, don't get it. It's not worth it then. This is another item you can get. Hide the Urchin is very good. The downside of it is it costs a lot to get to the tier 2 of Hide the Urchin, which is kind of a problem. You can see that it doesn't cost that much more than Spirit Robes. It just costs like 250 more than My Joy's Blessing. But the tier 1 of those 3 items is really, really bad. And that's why the tier 2 of Hide the Urchin is really expensive, because tier 2 of Hide the Urchin might be the best tier 2 item in the game. It gives you decent, it gives you pretty good bit of health for a tier 2, and gives you some good protections. And, well, that's kind of the reason why you get Hide the Urchin, because it gives you good physical and magical protection, and you can start stacking it to get even more. Now, since this is a stacking item, and you only get stacks for kills or assists, you should build this early. If you build this late, you won't get full benefit. You won't get full benefit out of it, and you probably should just get Spirit Robes instead. And speaking of Spirit Robes is a pretty good item. It also gives you the main bad thing I don't like about Spirit Robes is that it doesn't give you any health, but it will still make you pretty tanky. You will also get a cooldown reduction, which Hercules, like I said before, Hercules is ability based god, and that never hurts to have more cooldown reduction. Just make sure you don't overcap on the 40%. We're gonna move on to Wingblade. Wingblade's good against teams with a lot of slows. The enemy team has like Alpoish, Nemesis, anything like that. This is a good item. Once again, cooldown reduction, health, movement speed, attack speed's not that important, but the being immune to slows, you know, when it's off cooldown, it's very good. We got him. Then we're gonna move to Megardium Mail. Megardium Mail is also a very powerful item, and you should only get it though if there's at least 2 guys on the enemy team that is very basic attack heavy. They could be 2 hunters. It could be someone like a hunter and Kali, Mercury, you know, someone that relies on basic attacks and sticking to their enemy. Then we're going to take a look at some of the other items that I didn't have enough room for. I think I might have went over most of the other ones with what I was talking about, the magical items. Another interesting one, Void Shield. If your team has if your team's playing 2 hunters and you're playing Hercules, why not get Void Shield? It's just gonna make them do more damage because it's gonna reduce the physical protection of enemies. It's gonna make you do more damage. It's gonna make them do more damage. Everyone's gonna be happy. I would only suggest it though in situations like that. Although I do agree that Void Shield is actually a pretty underrated item, but it kind of has its high points and its low points. It's a pretty decent item though for if your team has the 2 hunters or 2 really basic attack heavy gods. Then another item, Witchblade. Witchblade's pretty good. Attack speed debuff, never bad. It's something. It's not the greatest item for Hercules, but it's not the worst. Also, something else that I forgot to mention: magical protection. I don't know how I missed this. The enemy team is very heavy with healing. Pestilence is a very good item to get, and that's gonna pretty much do it for protection items. As far as if you want more damage out of the build, I would suggest just getting some like Beat Stick or Crusher or something. Probably Beat Stick for the most part, but you'll be pretty good on damage for the most part. You don't really need... I don't really think you need an insane amount of damage on Hercules. But if you do want more damage, penetration will probably be the best way to go, since he is more of an ability-based god. You could do Transcendence if you really wanted to. I don't think it's that... I don't think... it's fine on him. He does have a low mana issue sometimes, and the extra mana doesn't hurt. It's an option. I don't think it's super great, but it's there. All these other options are kind of meh. They're not that great for him. And it's... Oh yeah. Before we go any further, we're talking about actives. There's also quite a few actives you could choose from. Heavenly Agility is pretty good. It also boosts healing, makes your team run faster, it boosts their healing. That's never a bad thing. Heavenly Agility is a very underrated item. Shell Absorption is another item that is very, very good, and I don't see many people buying it. More protection for your team is also never a bad thing, just like more movement speed. There's also another item that you'll get for heavy healing teams. Heaven knows what this Creeping Curse does. I forgot the name of the item was. I think it's Creeping Curse. It's been so long since I've played. Weakening Curse. Yeah, that's it. First one's Creeping Curse. What am I even talking about anymore? Yes, Weakening Curse. Very good. Prevents all healing. And, well, the enemy team has like Ra, Hel, Aphrodite, Sylvanas, something like that. Or even against the Hunters. They're not getting healed. And they're not going anywhere fast with the slow. It's a very good item. And for those teams that also have 2 Hunters, Shield Underworld's also very good. This, along with Hide the Nemean Lion, was just going to do a lot of damage to any of the Hunters attacking you. And it's just a pretty good item in general for Hercules, just because of how tanky he is. They don't have to have 2 Hunters, but they got some pretty threatening basic attack gods. I think Shield Underworld is pretty good. Not needed. I like to build on them, but I don't always build on them. A couple other choices though. Aegis is never a bad choice. Just the same as Purification. Has uses. You're pretty tanky though. So that's one thing. So you might not exactly need it, but it's there. You need the choice. And of course, an item start at the beginning. Since you'll probably be wanting to start with this item, you will already have it. That's Wrath of the Gods. I do not buy Fist of the Gods. No god really. There's very few situations where you ever want Fist of the Gods, just because of how powerful Wrath of the Gods is right now for this objective secure. And once again, the bad news, or maybe good news, depending on how much you like Wrath of the Gods, is this item will be getting nerfed with the execute range for objectives. I don't remember how much it is now, but it hasn't happened yet, so this item is still very powerful right now. And it's kind of needed for solo laners. So let's go about do it for the builds. And now we're going to go to abilities. Now we're going to start off with his passive first. And basically, it's kind of like Bancroft's Talon. For he gains physical power based on the percentage of health that he's missing. That's basically it. It's boring, but it's pretty good. That's all there really is to say about his passive. It's pretty good. First ability, Driving Strike. This is the ability I like to level up first, and I think most people like to level up first. I don't really see anything else to you really want to level up first. I could be wrong though. This is all my personal opinion. I like to play, and I like to level up Driving Strike first because it's a stun. Does a pretty good bit of damage, and well, it actually does a deceptive amount of damage. I mean, people don't usually expect how much damage it does. Plus, it also can put you out of position badly. You'll see Hercules a lot of time trying to walk behind you or get behind you, and if you ever let Hercules get behind you, you're in for a bad time. Now, one thing I'll be talking about when I get to the ultimate is I like to try to Driving Strike people close to walls. And I'll go over why in a minute. So just remember that. I'll get back to that in a minute. But yes, Driving Strike, very good. First ability I'll level up. Then we got Earthbreaker. This is the other half of the combo along with Driving Strike. If you hit people with Earthbreaker at the end of the ability, it will knock them up and pull them to you. And once you pull them to you, try to get on the backside of where they're going to be and then push them even further back. This is a great way, especially early game, to pull people to you and then push them back even farther, and hopefully you get them under tower range, because that tower will beat the crap out of them. They're going to be stunned for, how long is it stun? Like a second? They're going to be stunned for a second. They're going to take a tower hit, maybe even 2, and they're probably just going to die. This is the main threat of Hercules in lane. Be very careful if you're going against Hercules and he's by his tower, because it's just gonna be a bad time for you. Third, we got Mitigate Wounds. This is, I would say, his most famous ability, and at the same time his most infamous ability, because everyone that plays against Hercules hates this ability. It heals for so freaking much. And well, it's kind of an art around using this ability properly, I would say, because you get the damage, you get the healing per tick for the whole 10 seconds, but the damage returned as healing, you only get that for the first 4 seconds that it's activated. So when you know there's about to be a bunch of damage coming at you, that's when you need to activate it. Because if they hit you with it after those first 4 seconds, you're not going to get a whole lot of healing back. And alright, sorry about that. I had to take care of something just real quick. Anyway, back to Mitigate Wounds. Like I was saying, make sure you activate it when you know there's a bunch of damage coming your way, because you only get those first 4 seconds to get that huge amount of healing back. Well, that very good ability. Now, between these two, I personally think it's a just personal opinion on which one you want to level up second. I'm not sure if there is a right one or not, but I personally like to level up Mitigate Wounds. That's the one I've always really liked to level up second. I tried it a few times leveling up Earthbreaker second. I just didn't like it as much. I think the healing is just so good on Hercules. It's kind of the main thing that keeps him alive, in all honesty. So that's just my personal opinion on what I like to level up second. You can do Earthbreaker second if you really want to, just for the extra damage. I don't know. I like Mitigate Wounds. And then we got his ultimate, Excavate. And, well, you just throw a big boulder. You do a bunch of damage. But the interesting thing is, you can bounce this off walls to hit people multiple times with it. Now, multiple hits will do less damage. So that's kind of, something. But this ability would be way too powerful if it didn't do 50% less off a bounce back. And it doesn't actually happen too often. This ability does have a lot of range on it. The boulder will roll for a long ways. And, well, it just does a stupid amount of damage. As you can see, 800 plus 100% your physical power. That's a lot of damage. And the interesting thing is, and this is why I like to drive people into the walls with Driving Strike. Get them close to the wall, because there's a good chance if they're by the wall, you can Driving Strike them, and then instantly throw the boulder. You can hit them, and you might get lucky, and it might come back and hit them again. It's happened to me a few times, especially in the lane, and it's gotten me kills just because of the second hit. It's pretty awesome when it happens. So that's just my little tip for Excavate. If you can, do it. You can also just snipe people with the boulder, which is also very amusing when it happens. And it's a very good ability all around. And that's gonna about do it for Hercules. I like Hercules a lot. I think he is very good and very powerful. Is he the best warrior right now, especially in solo lane? No, I think that's probably Tyr. I think Tyr is just too strong right now. Well, not too strong, but I think he's too strong for Hercules. But Hercules is still very powerful. His ability to just put people out of position is just very powerful. And that's kind of what he comes down to, is can you put people out of position on the enemy team? That's kind of what makes or breaks Hercules. That's gonna about do it for Hercules. Hopefully y'all go out and play him. He's a lot of fun. He can his combo can be a little hard to hit at first, but once you get used to it, it gets a little bit easier. And oh yeah, also I wanted to say I will be streaming tonight on Sunday. I will be streaming at least every Sunday at 9 Eastern time. Might be streaming some of the other days. Just depends when I get a chance of not working. And well, hopefully I'll see some of y'all out there tonight. And anyway, I'm gonna end the video here before I go on even more. Hope y'all had a great 4th of July. Mine was fun at work. And hope you have a great rest of y'all's day, Sunday day here. You have a great day. I'll talk to you guys later.